Welcome back, man. It's PDX Biz Talk, the PDX Business Podcast, where we have real conversations with real business owners. And today is no different, man. Of course, you may know me by now. Hopefully you do. I go by the name of Young Mill. Also, my real name, Zeke Jones, owner of Aeon Visual as well, man. Of course, I'm with my boy Johnny, man. What's
up,
on,
man?
bro?
I don't know, just working, hustling out here, every day.
Yeah, how's the new business going on so far? You got
started my screen print business.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Yeah, it's been hustling every day, going to the shop, going over there, go shop, back. Yeah,
it's kind of like a new experience for you, huh? Because you're used to like doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well as cleaning
epic.
a lot of cars.
Pretty
and stuff.
much, yeah. That's it. Now I can actually do other shit now.
That's dope, man. I'm excited to hear it, bro. I'm excited to get some new shirts made, actually, too, man.
I know a guy now.
You know a guy?
I know a guy now, in-house.
For real, man. And I know a girl today, too, man. We know a girl as well, because this is actually going to be like our first girl guest on this podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is really cool. Yeah. And yeah, man. So today we have brought a guest along with us from Style Me PDX. Today we have Ashley Berglund with us today.
Hey there.
We'll edit that voice in there.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that little clap in. But thanks for coming to the show. How is everything going with you?
Everything's going really, really well. Start of the new year. We got the bridal season ahead of us. Oh yeah. I'm excited for this season now that we're finally out of COVID times.
Right.
Bridal is really, really kicking up. So I'm excited for this season.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you letting us come over to your house and doing this.
Yeah, thank you guys for wanting to
kind of last minute, too. We hit you up like 2 days ago, and then we just made it happen today.
Yeah.
Right. Excited to hear a lot about your business. So tell us a little bit, because we're going to take it back a little bit to the beginning, and then we're going to talk about what's going on right now with the business and, what's next, of course, too. Mm-hmm. But with Style Me PDX, kind of tell us what it is and kind of who you serve.
Who I serve, huh?
Yeah.
Basically all men and women who want to come in and get beautified, basically. Okay. For me, I love to do hair. I love to do lashes. I make women feel wonderful, beautiful. And that's basically what I'm personally all about. Style Me PDX is be your own kind of beautiful. We have, thankfully with this particular type of artistry, you can do anything. And I'm sure you guys have clearly seen on Instagram, because I'm sure it pulls up on your feed too, that there are like thousands of makeup artists out there,
a lot,
thousands of hairstylists out there. And I mean, they're doing some freaking amazing stuff. And so there really is no limits with this particular field in the beauty industry. With bridal, I mean, it has transformed. It really honestly has. It's gone from, just this, basically from when people didn't really know a lot about makeup. They put the blush on, they put the lips on, they do a little mascara, maybe a little eyeshadow. Now you're seeing these girls that are going from just, natural, beautiful women to, oh my God, they look like supermodels on the most best day of their life.
And it's normal now.
That's the norm.
I think it's really cool because honestly, sometimes there's I've seen some transformations as well where it's like, I almost don't even recognize you anymore. But that's always, but at least they look good. You know what I mean?
Those videos though that you see out there are so addicting to watch.
Oh yeah,
to watch those transformations.
And it's satisfying too, looking like those. Wow,
the before and after is always a good look.
Thank you. That hashtag satisfying moment. Yes.
Absolutely.
I've personally that is one of my biggest addictions is to go onto the TikTok right now, is to go on the Instagram and just watch those, before and afters. Right. It's incredible transformation.
When you watch those, do you get some sort of inspiration from them to put in your work, or you just watch it? Oh, okay. Oh God, yeah. I mean, with bridal specifically, you have to keep up with the trends. Mm-hmm. You have to. Yeah. And I mean, we could totally do those fun little TikTok hacks and everything like that. But TikTok is TikTok. They're hacks for a reason. Yeah. I personally, I'm all about the basics. And you start from the basics, and you have to have good skin to be able to apply really good makeup and to be able to achieve that flawless look. It all begins with your skin deep down. I mean, you could have acne, you have to try and cover that up. It can be red. You have to do color corrections for that so then it doesn't showcase on, someone's wedding photo or in a video or something like that. Acne's one of the bigger triggers, obviously, with bridal. So it's not just showing up and putting makeup on a girl. It's way deeper than that. That's why you charge what you charge.
Yeah.
So what do you do in a situation like that when there's a bride and it's their big day, but maybe they have like a super severe breakout or something. Is there anything that you can do to save that?
I've had to save a mom actually. She basically broke her nose. Ooh. Like broke her nose right here, and just complete blue eyes. Her it was healing, so it's in that stage of like that yellow green. Yeah. But I mean, you guys, her eyes were black, and I felt so bad. And I'm like, this was a woman that wasn't actually on the contract, and I was just like, it was my heart. You know, I had to. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to stay around. Can you give me just at least 30 minutes to try to help correct right here? And her before and afters were like, crazy. You could not tell. With a bride specifically, we have to worry about a lot of things. And a majority of them is, guess how stressed they are. Oh, yeah. And guess what happens when we're stressed out?
Oh, yeah.
We break out. And so that's one of the bigger ones that we have to correct. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like color theory, but in order to cancel out that red tone on someone's face underneath the foundation before we even lay anything down, we have to do color correcting. So anything red, you want to color correct with green. Yes, thank you.
I just thinking that because I do a lot of color grading for video production and stuff.
That makes sense.
I was thinking the same color theory.
Yeah, kind of concept. And same exact thing goes for hair. Same exact thing goes for the.
That's wild. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So how'd you learn what did you learn all this from just doing it, or did you go to school for it, or any of that?
I'm actually licensed in aesthetics and,
you have
and
to
hair
be,
design.
right? Like legally, in order to have a salon like you do.
Yeah. In order to work in a salon, yes. So I actually have my freelance license, so I'm actually able to do the traveling outside of my designated salon legally. But I'm also an independent contractor. I actually have been since the beginning. Most hairstylists, most people, they work in a salon that allows them to help, them get clientele right off the bat. For me, I wanted to just see if I could.
And you did, yeah.
You need that push, that fear is what I like to say.
That risk.
You had to jump.
You had to risk it.
And if I wasn't going to do it, then like, when was I going to do it? Was I going to get comfortable with working for someone, or was I actually going to go out and be a boss woman?
Yeah.
And do my own thing. Right. So that push was there. As soon as I got my license and graduated from beauty school, I actually went into a salon that actually was not the correct one for me right off the bat. And I should have known better, but it was with a friend of mine. Right. A family friend of ours, and he was very, very helpful, allowed me to build up the clientele that I did. But the one thing that I needed was a salon that was going to have more walk-in. Yeah. More walk-in, and I was going to be able to take them no problem.
So with that experience at first, kind of how were you guys getting clients? Just the relationship that he had, or?
Word of mouth is also one of the most powerful. I'm sure it's the best free advertising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With that, Instagram did help. My friends definitely helped me be able to build, because they were clients. I was giving them a little bit of a discount because you kind of have to do something to bring in your clients.
I know that for a fact. Yeah, you got to do it first.
But you learn, obviously, from the mistakes that you make right off the bat. So that was a learning experience for me. And while I was building that clientele in the salon, I was also working for a European wax center, so I was learning how to wax and do
you're
that.
Picking up other skills as well.
Yes, and I do have my aesthetics, so that was one thing that I did want to do when I first started. It was just hair. I had no opportunity to be able to do lashes where I was at.
Was that something you were already entertaining at the time too?
I was entertaining it. This. Yeah, because I wanted to do something with makeup, with skin, something, but I ended up finding a love for lashes about a year down the road. And because I was working at the wax center, I was using that as a part-time job. And that was giving me the skills that I was needing to be able to do it on my own when I got into another salon that I could do it in and get my own studio.
That makes sense. So that was kind of like part of your exit plan there, right?
It was a good exit plan. It did help me be able to gain that knowledge that I needed for being able to do what I do. And I did find another studio, and it was actually closer to home, thank goodness. And that was the salon that actually helped me. I got lot of walk-ins in this one. It was a way different salon, and it was what I was needing. So that was the salon that was the one that really helped get my career off the ground. And I'm really grateful for that one too.
What part of town was that in?
It's actually literally right down the road.
Oh, yeah?
Okay,
Yeah.
it's close by.
Yeah, do you guys know where Bumper's Bar and Grill is?
I know where that.
It's Image Makers. It's right next to it.
Oh, okay. That's where you started out in?
That's where I started. Yeah.
And you did hair, just hair only there?
I did hair there, and then I got certified to do lash extensions. Gotcha. And then I was doing lash extensions more and started doing less hair because I had something that happened in my life.
So what made you switch from doing all that and then doing bridal stuff as well? Because all that, all that stuff you learned, now you can use it for, bridal.
So I did actually bridal when I first started, right out of the gate. So
on your
I
own
was
or through a company?
For my own.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was all me, plus of course my team that did help me get there and help assist me with larger bridal parties. So that's dope. We become very well known for doing larger bridal parties. I've done up to 12 to 15 girls in one morning.
Right. Jeez. That's something I was always curious about. How do you tackle all of that
by
yourself? It's
strategize, organize, and execute. So we actually have a foolproof way of being able to do that.
So it's a whole system in place. Mm-hmm. So what kind of walk us through a little bit of how you take us from the moment that maybe a bride or somebody who's planning a wedding, they reach out to you or the company, then what?
So the best way to reach out is doing a submission through the website. It goes straight to my email. I'm able to see that right away. Once we do emailing back and forth and we talk about prices, we talk about looks, we talk about everything. What I personally like to do, and this is what I have been told by a lot of the brides that have hired us, is that I actually do a Zoom meeting with them.
And it's different.
It is. It's better than doing just a phone call. You know why? And I'm sure you probably know this too, is because you're in media. Mm-hmm. Visuals are the best thing for us, right?
Definitely.
And of course, with hair and makeup, that's what the girls want to see.
Oh, you can see at first instead of showing them at first,
Yeah, they kind of want to get to know who they're talking to, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And they want to build that trust and that bond with that stylist that they're looking into. Because literally when they email me, I'm literally a name without a face to them.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they see my Instagram.
Yeah.
It's all over there.
Right.
But that way I'm able to actually showcase to them. I do actually use PowerPoint. I'm still very old school, I guess. Yeah, I know.
That's
just
cool,
said, wow. I'm very old school that way, but I showcase how are trials going to go with us, what our levels of application of makeup are, so then they can kind of see how we categorize the makeup for them. So it gives them a better understanding of, say, coverage preference. We walk, we take a walk down the road with how we do the organization. So we showcase to them how we basically create a game plan. Mm-hmm. We like to get everybody's information ahead of time. Yeah. And we have to ensure that, we're getting all the proper information for their hair density. Do they have thick hair? Do they have thin hair? How long is it? Does it hold a curl well? These are really important key information we need. Absolutely. So then we can plan ahead and see, okay, does this person need more product, more time?
Right. That's actually really important to kind of consult with somebody about that type of stuff, because a lot of people wouldn't think of, me and Johnny probably not going to think about something like that. We're okay, they're going to go in, they're going to get their hair done, they're going to tell you what to do. It's probably not how it is it?
No. But here's the other thing too, is that with hiring someone that is licensed, that they went to school for this, and that they're going to do the sanitations with their products correctly. Because if you think about it, we are using makeup that is communal, right? Which also brings up a really important thing is, allergies too.
Oh yeah,
we do, and this is why I'm grateful that I do have the education that I do have, even from previous beauty school. Because my minor is in human biology. So I was actually able to carry that over into what I do now. And I have to think about this. I have to think about, okay, if someone puts down something that they're allergic to, there are fruit enzymes in a lot of products. There's, I actually had a girl that put down that she was allergic to coconut. Well, there's a lot of products with coconut oil, coconut, in our setting spray for hydration. So it's I don't know if her ingesting coconut is going to give her the breakout, the hives, the allergic reaction? Or is it going to be something that if I put down on her skin, is she going to have a reaction? Yeah. I have to think about those things. Yeah.
And you ask them beforehand as well.
Absolutely.
Has that ever happened to you before where you never asked somebody, or you did ask them, they didn't know what they were allergic to, and you did it, and then they started having a reaction?
I've never had that happen before. I've never had that happen before yet, but I am just kind of that stylist that likes to err on the side of caution, because God forbid one of the bridesmaids or a bride walks down having hives on her chest.
All red.
Like,
that's scary, man. Because that's a day that you can't do a redo.
Nope. No, you can't.
You can't.
Or you get sent to the hospital. That's a day to remember.
Yeah.
No, that's just something I personally like to plan out, because that is key information I need to know. I need to do research on the products that I do have in my kit. All of us have to do research on our products in our kit, specifically for those allergies, to better prep.
To make sure it doesn't have any of the ingredients. Yeah.
I had someone that was allergic to dimethicone.
What's that?
Silicone. That is in basically all beauty products, all makeup. And I'm like,
you're like, what do I use?
What do I use?
What do I use? It's in everything. Basically anything that has cone at the end of it in the ingredients list. Yeah, you have to watch for that. And I asked her, because the further down the silicone is, or the dimethicone is on the ingredients list, the less it's in there. Yeah. So you have to ask, like, how far down on the ingredients list are you okay with? And we made sure when we did our trial that was fine. And she had no reaction. So we did do justice with that one. But yeah, like that thing, we have to talk about, because that's extremely important. I never thought about that. Honestly, when it comes, I never thought about that.
That's a lot.
But yeah, we get all that information. I tell them how trials are going to go, how we do them.
What are trials?
Trials, yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
What are trials?
Trials are where the bride comes in to the salon, and we have a 3-hour time slot where we do about an hour and a half on her makeup application and an hour and a half with her hair inspirations that she's wanting us to do. Just to see what
it'll be the good look for the day.
What's actually going to work.
And it's all included within the price, or that separate price?
Yep. Everything that's included in the price is basically a written contract. You get lashes applied twice, at the trial and at wedding. You also get the trial included in the price, but you also get a perfect bridal touch-up kit.
What does that do?
Yeah, what's that about?
I know we're learning and stuff.
Look at you guys learning all about makeup. I'm taking notes over here.
That's good. I think it's pretty cool.
So we want to make sure it's almost kind of like, in a sense, like insurance to our makeup, right? We want to make sure that the girls are well prepped for anything that could potentially happen after we leave.
So once they leave your chair and they're out there in the world,
when they're out there and we're done with that timeline, like, we're good. Once we personally leave, we leave them with basically what's like tissue blotters for ladies who have like really oily skin. You can shine. So we want to give them some tissue blotters in case that happens. Yeah. Powder, just a little touch of powder in case they need to dot. I do also leave them with a lipstick, like a little tiny sample tube of lipstick, which is their lipstick that we applied, in case they need to do a touch-up then.
Right, so take a drink or something and maybe it comes a little bit off.
Or it comes off on their husband that they just smothered with kisses. You never know.
Right.
But yeah,
then the photographer comes back around, hey, it's time to take photos. Wait, we were just smooching.
Exactly. So it's like making sure that they're well prepped even after we are gone too. We just want to make sure that they're going to be good for the rest of their day.
And how far in advance do you need to know when somebody calls you to a point where, hey, this is my minimum, I need to know? Yeah, like a month?
As soon as possible, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know about you guys.
I can't call you, but hey, my wedding's next week, right? It has to be more. No. Yeah. So like, what's the minimum? Like, okay, I need at least a month.
I would say like the best time window is anywhere between like 8 months.
What?
8 months ahead is like a standard. 6 to 8 months is like standard, is when girls actually start booking for their wedding day. Then. But they start talking to you a year in advance. Because if you do not get that vendor that you have been wanting on, if you're putting it off, they're going to be gone. Yeah. I can tell you this much. When girls do inquire about a wedding day and they are sending those submissions in, there's always going to be at least 5 6, 7, 8 emails that are going to be right behind them asking for that same
exact day. Yeah.
So it's like
you got to figure out which ones you want.
Exactly. It's like if you really want that girl, you better be booking her.
Do you ever have multiple clients on the same day and just send out your employees to go do this, that, and the other?
This, that, and the other. That's a great question. Actually, we have a team. Yeah. So my team has actually been with me since the very beginning. Okay. So since 2015.
Oh, that's dope.
That's dedication there. I love my team. My team is the best. Krista Horder, Phoebe Horder and Krista Schmitz. Yeah. Those two are my girls.
You guys all work together in every job, or do they do their own thing as well?
We so for humongous, like larger bridal parlors, like I had mentioned, the 12 to 15 one that we did. Yeah, I needed those two girls, absolutely. But for other weddings, they've been with me for so long, they are able to do their own weddings. Gotcha. And we've actually added on to our team, so I can branch them off more with their own brides now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the team, building. What kind of roles do they play? Do they all do everything, or?
So Phoebe does makeup only. I do both hair and makeup, and then Krista actually does both hair and makeup as well. So she's very versatile. I'm very versatile because I can either have myself do all makeup and the bride, and then I can have Krista do all hair and touch-ups and everything because she's going to be the extra stylist assisting me that day. But that way, if I have her do all the hair and have myself do all the makeup and the bride, she can do any touch-ups, lipstick application, lashes at the end. She can take care of everybody else and do the touch-ups while I'm making sure that the bride is perfect for her wedding day.
That's perfect.
All about teamwork. But that game plan that we just talked about, that's essentially like what makes this entire system work.
Yeah. Okay, so every time somebody calls, makes it like they want to book with you, you take a deposit?
Yeah, I do.
Is it a percentage or is it a set amount?
It's a 25% of just the overall total.
Non-refundable.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's fine. I mean,
you don't
it's 8 months away, so.
The reason being though is because we do have to block that day off, and once we block that day off, and it does depend on how many stylists are there, or making sure you get your designated stylist.
Right.
If we take that deposit, we do have other people that are still inquiring. They're still inquiring for that day. And I still get multiple emails because girls don't know that we're booked, Yeah. And so that is, non-refundable. We have to turn away so many people.
Yeah.
But the good news is we don't really have that many cancellations. Yeah, so that's always a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's good when it comes to deposits because no one's going to cancel and lose a deposit unless something really crazy happens in their life and they need to cancel it,
Right.
Because I imagine they're probably, once you've gone through your process a bit, they're already connected to you guys enough to know that you're going to be able to do the job, do it well. Plus, they like you guys, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've vibed very, very well with a lot of our brides in the past. I've actually still good friends with a lot of the brides that we have had. Mm-hmm. A lot of them still actually come to me even for their hair and their lashes.
Just for fun.
Yeah, and they still follow our page and everything like that. But we always value those reviews because that means the world to us, and it does help us learn for what we may need to do to better ourselves for the next bride, for the next year, for the next wedding.
Plus, that brings in more clients too, the word of mouth, because you don't really market, huh? You don't have any ads out,
right?
It's all about just word of mouth.
Word of mouth has been huge for us in the wedding industry, but we've also networked with a lot of vendors. I'm always networking, just like my husband is always networking because he's a DJ. Mm-hmm. Our names are out there in the wedding community, but we've developed great connections with a lot of wedding planners, a lot of wedding coordinators, a lot of the venues, because I have to go into the bridal suites, and I have a couple of my favorite venues, because their bridal suites are absolutely amazing. They have the proper lighting, they have good mirrors and everything like that. But I actually have on my website, when girls send a submission, we do ask, like, how did you find out about us?
Oh, that's a good idea.
It could be like Facebook, Instagram, or this person did it. So then you can send that person a little thank you or something.
And a lot of them are vendor referrals.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, because with the wedding circuit, I'm sure it's something like you do a wedding, there's a couple weddings that could just come from that one wedding.
Yeah.
Because there's the bridesmaids, there's the groomsmen, there's the family members that, you know, they probably see you there. You might have done their makeup then. They're like, oh, I loved it so much. We need them. I'm getting married next week. You know?
That is actually, that's so true though, because I've had actually a few bridesmaids from weddings that I did the bride's makeup for, and I did their wedding party.
Yeah. Wow.
And they messaged me and they're like, you did so-and-so's wedding. I was one of her bridesmaids. I want to see if we might be able to book you as well for our wedding. And I'm like, that's amazing. You know, and you develop that connection too when you're there. You know, you're right there with them instead of being over email.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, way better than
so if you could put in your own words, what would you say are some of like the best tactics, not tactics necessarily, but like ways for maybe a makeup artist to get their name out there, to get those clients, to get more jobs, more weddings?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot of things that you can do. I'll be honest with you. Remember how I said, like, when we all start out in our business, we kind of have to be a little bit cheaper. I hate to say that word, but it is kind of true. You have to start a little tiny bit low to gain that momentum. Mm-hmm. You have to gain that portfolio.
It's almost like proving yourself a little bit, right?
Exactly. Instagram has actually helped because a lot of people, their portfolio is their Instagram page. Mm-hmm. So that's an easy source for a lot of brides to just go onto Instagram and go onto their business page and say, oh, wow, look at their portfolio. But for me, like, TikTok obviously wasn't a thing back when I first started, you know, and I was just grazing myself into the whole Instagram thing. So Instagram was a good source, and it's still a good source for us because that is our portfolio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's even my husband's portfolio too, with all of his music.
Definitely.
But you do have to kind of start slightly a little bit lower to gain that clientele. You have to get those brides and you have to get clients. So you do have to start somewhere. Me, I was doing bridal shows. I was going to different venues and doing bridal showcases to be able to showcase my makeup skills, to showcase my artistry skills, but also just to showcase myself too.
Yeah. Girls put yourself out there.
Yes, you have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, how are you going to get anything into your
you
studio?
Can't unless you go out there and get it.
That makes sense to me.
So, Jared's also a pretty good push when he's just like, hey, you got to post something on Instagram. Sorry.
Yeah, he like, oops, sorry.
For sure.
So when it comes to Jared, your husband, so he DJs as well weddings. So do you always send him work? You know, when you have a wedding, hey, you know, my husband. Also, do you tell the clients your husband, or do you just say, I know a guy?
I know.
You know,
hit him with that.
Maybe they're like, oh, well, that's your, you know.
Oh, I know a guy.
Literally.
So obviously, like, you know, Jared's work kind of speaks for himself.
Of course, yeah.
But a lot of girls, when they do contact me, their top things that they do get is the venue, their photographer, and a wedding coordinator. The next thing they honestly should be doing is getting that DJ.
Yeah.
They should. And, you know, I'm not trying to sound biased or anything like that. It's just because I have one at home with me at all times. But, like, I've seen a lot of, like, what other DJs do, and I've seen a lot of what Jared does.
It's different,
It is. It really honestly is. He does put on a real show for the bride. The couple. Sorry, I work with the brides all the time.
With the
bias. She's got favorites.
My bad. He works with the couples. I mainly just work with the brides at the bridal party. So it's a little bit different for our businesses. But yeah, whenever this is how I personally like to network too. Whenever a bride's just like, they sign with us, I'm like, hey, are there any vendors that you are still needing help finding? Because we do the networking a lot. Like we love this community. And so we want to be able to even just help our wedding friends too. But, you know, when they say like, hey, we don't have a DJ yet, I'll be like, well, you know what? I can absolutely refer you over to my husband. He's actually a really great wedding DJ. Take a peek at his prices, you know, talk with him. He's wonderful. But I'm not going to lie, he sends me so many brides. Every single time I go through an email when it says a vendor referral, oh, your husband's doing our wedding.
So can you do our
you guys can save some gas too, right? Just ride together.
He does not wake up at the time that I do. Remember?
Plus, you're gone right before the wedding even starts. You're done before the wedding starts, or are you there throughout?
No, I'm usually done before the wedding starts. Because you know, a lot of the girls, they do the first look now. So that's a lot of those pictures before the ceremony and everything is actually going to be better. You're going to get the photos that you're wanting if you do your first look photos, if you do all those things.
Right. When it's not as hectic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know those vibes.
Yeah. And well, to be honest with you, even after the ceremony, you know, the photographers will take the bride and the groom and the family photos. And then you have everybody going for cocktail hour and they're just hanging in there without the bride or anybody in the bridal party there. It's kind of a little awkward, I feel like. I don't know about you guys, but I personally would be like, so after the ceremony, I kind of want to hang out with the wedding party, the bride and the groom and everybody.
Yeah.
If you get all those photos done though beforehand, you have more time at your reception to just hang out.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like the times have changed a little tiny bit, and it's worth it now.
So how many hours are you there, like in the morning usually? Like when you go, when is the day of?
So when I have like larger bridal parties or any time where I'm going to have to be done, normally it's by like 1, 2, sometimes noon. I try to start at like 7 a.m.
Yeah. 7
Especially if a larger bridal party, you're going to want to have more time than not enough.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, I feel bad because I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry if this is like, you know, 4 a.m. for you. It's like 12 o'clock for me at 7 a.m.
Yeah, because it's way different than what they're used to. You know, they're not out here doing the makeup stuff every morning. You know, you are.
I know.
I am up at. My husband hates this because it feels like I'm back working at the coffee shop again because I had to put
you're
my
naturally now you're naturally up.
You're just wired to be up that early, right?
I go to the gym at like 5 a.m. almost every morning.
No, it's already up then.
So what time do you get to bed then?
I'm old. I am not like my husband where he's up till like 9 p.m. is literally when I'm in bed. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to bed. Bye. Then we have Jared who's out, you know,
working DJing
all night.
Night owl.
Well, even if he's doing the bar or the club or an event or a wedding, he's not getting home
till late.
Yeah. Where I'm just like, peace, I'm done at noon. Bye.
You're like,
I got the whole rest of the day.
He's like walking in the door. You're like, I'm out.
That's why I always joke is if we do a wedding together, I'm always just like, oh, well, you're going to start with one Bergland. You're going to end with the other Bergland. So, and you know we're going to be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of us will be there, right?
One of us will be there.
One of us.
I was curious, actually, like from the business owner standpoint, like for a makeup artist, what would you say are some of like the biggest expenses that people wouldn't think about?
Product.
Yeah.
So much product.
So
much product.
You have to burn through a lot, I imagine, right?
You have no idea what my makeup kit looks like.
Is it
what goes into the kit? What kind of what's like essential for the kit?
So I've condensed down. Thank God I've learned. You always are going to be continuing your education no matter what. I mean, as adults, we always think that when we're in school, like we know better. Yeah, we think we know everything. The hell we do. No, we don't. And so like even in this job, which is always changing, it's a fashion industry, you guys. You have to keep up with the trends. You have to keep looking at what the next best thing is. For me, I do like to use a little bit more higher end products. You know, what you would get from Ulta. You know, you're getting, Charlotte Tilbury. You are getting Urban Decay. You're getting Tarte. You're getting the more higher end products, which we know are very reputable. Right. And we know them very, very well. My kit, I wish I could show you guys what it used to look like. It was actually, my husband and I, we went to Home Depot once and we actually got one of those like Husky tool boxes. Oh, yeah. The roll, no, wait. Not the hand one. The
roll, the big guy. Yeah.
That
with the latches on it? Like.
Yes. That thing was
$2.
huge, but it was worth it because I was like, damn, I got a lot of product to haul around. We also have to haul around hair stuff, curling irons.
Oh my God.
It's a whole
I didn't even think about that. There's so many.
It's a whole other cart.
Yeah. And then as you guys know, I also have to haul around studio lights.
I see that, yeah.
And really also cool. A studio chair, as well as a table to make sure, because I'm walking into hotel rooms. I'm walking into venues that maybe I'm not familiar with. I'm walking into Airbnbs that I don't know the layout.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of these places are just naturally so dim.
Oh God,
they're so dim.
Well, and a lot of the venues don't understand that, like, the bridal studio cannot have fluorescent lighting.
Oh no.
That just creates that full-on yellow tint that we all do not love.
Because then you might,
Yeah, because then the color may actually go down differently. So you need to have the good studio lights. Yes.
Like natural white light like that one.
Yeah.
Accurate.
It works so much better. And like I said, there's just some things where I'm going to be walking into a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, like the hotel room is literally the size of the couch and the carpet. And that's all I have to work with. What?
How are you supposed to even fit your gear in there?
You don't. You literally somehow make it work to the best of your ability if you even have to lay your stuff out on like the bed. Yeah. I mean, I've come into hotel rooms that are literally that small.
Oh my goodness.
So how do you carry everything there? Like, is the van you have out there the one you use, or do you have a car?
No, that's Jared's.
Oh, that's Jared's van. So what? You got,
yeah, girl power.
So you have your car. You have everything in your car.
I load everything into my car. All my studio lights, my chair, my kit, which I did finally learn to condense down a little bit. But like you guys have to understand, we're hauling like, again, the hair tools. We're hauling foundations. We're hauling like skin prep stuff, moisturizers, primers. Everything. I mean, I had, before I did my little project where I basically took all of my eyeshadows out of their palettes and put them into one little tiny magnetic book. Yeah. I was carrying around like 5-6 palettes of eyeshadows and
stacking them up.
That's a lot of room.
Well, a lot of them were the big ones, and I'm like, I only use like 3 colors in this one. Right. What am I doing? So I decided to take all of them out of the palettes and create my own like little bridal 4-layer magnetic
curated
case.
pack.
Oh, that's dope.
But it condensed everything down. I was able to throw away all those books and keep everything in that. So it was just easier to slip in and then take out when needed. Than taking out 7 different palettes and placing them on a table where I'm like, no, everything is just now in that one book.
So you got, it's way more streamlined at that point.
It's way more convenient too.
Yeah.
Well, remember how I said like we have to make sure that we're staying within timeline? Well, we also have to make sure that we're sanitizing everything in between.
Oh, yeah. So then it's just a lot less bulk to deal with in the first place.
Yeah.
You got to make sure, not only do you have to carry it there, you got to make sure you got to use it, and then you have to make sure it's clean.
Yep.
So
what do you mean when you sanitize it? Like exactly like during the process, you sanitize it in between like what clients? Gotcha.
Yeah. There is absolutely zero chance of cross-contamination that will ever happen with our team. We're like, that has always been like our highest priority is to ensure that everybody's health and safety is going to be, safe. And so we do use, alcohol on all of our pressed powdered products, all of our powder foundations, our bronzers, our eyeshadows, anything that's going to get in contact with a brush. All of our liquid products are going to be able to be more disposable. Wow. We do use, lip applicators, mascara wands, anything that touches a liquid product can be disposed easily. Oh, so everybody gets their own sponge
have
too.
Disposable brushes then at that point?
Well, we do also have just like regular brushes, but we can sanitize those as well in between each client's. And we do also, because we do larger bridal parties, we do also have like an overabundance of those particular brushes that we need to be able to just go. There are times where I'm like, hey, we need to take like a 2-minute break. I need to clean some of these brushes because I have like 3 more makeups to do before I even get to the bride.
That's crazy.
It's a busy day, but it's just like,
sounds like
we won't use a brush if it has not been sanitized, if it's been dropped on the floor, if we're even questioning it, if we've used it. It's just no, don't use it. Because that is the possibility of you having a clean brush and potentially giving your client an infection.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to chance that.
Oh, hell no. That's a reputation too.
Exactly.
They'll be like, oh, she ruined my big day.
I got an infection in my eye. No. That is always been the highest priority when it came to our jobs, is making sure everybody is safe. Yeah, and I do go over that actually in that Zoom meeting presentation. So then they know believe it or not, that is something brides don't ask.
I mean, I didn't even know either. Honestly, I
imagine they probably don't even think about it.
Well,
enough, at least.
Well, I mean, us ladies, like, we have our own makeup, right?
Of course.
And as you should be, washing your brushes at least like once a week, because bacteria does build up in it. But even I have alcohol and I spray my products down because I'm like, bacteria grows. Even if it's my bacteria, it's gonna grow. And
that's a great point.
Yeah. So the one thing I always advise ladies, especially when they're choosing their makeup artist and they're choosing their hairstylist, ask how they do their sanitations. It doesn't hurt to ask that. And I personally would want to know, because I too am a germaphobe myself. And I want to know if you're using makeup that is being used on other ladies as well as me, what are you doing to make sure that it's properly sanitized? Mm-hmm. That's why all of my girls are licensed on my team, because they have been through that education.
They have to follow those rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And when it comes to all your products, how do you get them? You just go to Ulta? Do you have like an account with like a wholesale? You get them for cheaper pricing?
I got accounts everywhere. I do.
But you don't just go to the store. You have an account still, meaning you have better pricing because you buy in bulk.
Yeah. So like MAC. I'm sure you guys know MAC.
Yeah, I know MAC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a really, really good studio makeup, obviously, and it's very well known. For licensed makeup artists, we can receive, if you turn in your license and you apply for the membership, you could actually get 40% off.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's kind of an expensive
It's a
brand.
membership though, and how much is it per year, per month?
I do a 2-year membership with my license. I believe it's like $65.
Oh wow!
$65 for 40% off
for 2 years.
For 2 years,
that's nothing. I mean, that's a great value.
I will take that.
Sure.
But like some of the things like our disposable applicators, like that kind of stuff. Like Amazon is kind of a quick way of being able to do that.
To get it,
But yeah, I mean, like Ulta is my most favorite place, and my husband hates it when I go there, but he knows.
And how long are you in there for?
It's like the playground up in there.
It is a playground. It is a beautiful place, and you can get lost in it when you just see all these beautiful things. So sometimes I will spend, an hour, sometimes maybe up to 2 hours. There's certain things that you look for, and like, not as weird as this sounds, not all products are the same.
Yeah, but your type of work, you go in there and actually do your little research. You're not just looking at products, you're actually doing your research.
I mean, I may be shopping for myself too.
As you buy for yourself, you're learning
yes, exactly.
about the products. Yeah.
So that kind of sparks a question for me. Like, I always wanted to know, like, from your words, like a professional makeup artist, someone who does makeup every day for a living, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say separates you as a professional from somebody, like what makes somebody hire you versus just do their own makeup for the wedding or something like that?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. So what you're going to get with a professional makeup artist is dedication to their day. That's why we do our contracts. As soon as they lay down that retainer for the contract and both parties sign that contract, we are dedicated to you. Everything can happen. I've had girls say like, my person that was supposed to do my makeup, they're no longer going to be in my wedding, or they got COVID or something like that,
Drama strikes.
Drama can strike, right? And that happens, like that's a normal thing that happens with weddings. Girls get stressed out and fights happen. Who knows what happens? I'm not going to get into those details. Right. But what stands out with a professional is that we know exactly what is going to look really, really good and complement your natural features. We're also going to demonstrate like, okay, you see this inspo photo that you chose here. She does have a different eye shape than you do. She has a different facial structure than you. She's got a different nose. She definitely has way different brows. The picture, this model is going to be so different from what we do with you. So we're going to ensure that we modify what that inspiration photo is, and we're going to modify it to your facial structures and your face shape, because that's what we are taught to do. You can totally learn a lot of great things on YouTube. You can learn a lot of great things also on TikTok and Instagram. Like, the education is out there. Definitely utilize it. But with the makeup artist, and guaranteed that that person is going to be there. We have the contract signed with them. We know what application is going to work well for them. And then also, the other thing is, there's so many different kinds of makeup artists out there. There's girls with our demographic here in the Portland Northwest. We have a lot of very natural girls. We do a lot of, I'll be honest with you, we do a lot of like outdoor weddings in the summertime. So a lot of the times they want more natural makeup. We're not, there are artists that do, the other stuff that's like on the East Coast, and those look great, obviously, but how photoshopped are those photos?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
If it's real, yeah, I think that's
well, not necessarily if it's real, it's just how heavily photoshopped is it. If it's like absolutely perfect.
Like there's no
there's no
pores
flaws.
left.
Yeah, no flaws at all.
We got to be realistic here. And that's what I always tell girls. I'm like, the reality is this. Even Kylie Jenner, even all those Kardashian ladies, they got texture on their skin. They got lines. They got wrinkles. They don't want to show it.
Right.
And they try to kill anybody that basically shows anything that relates to their actual skin. But they got texture. They got all those things underneath there. What we will try to do that maybe the person that is your friend, your cousin Susie, are they going to do the right application that you're particularly wanting?
So you help set that expectation as well.
I do. I really thoroughly listen to my girls, because if girls want a light application because they don't do a lot of makeup, that's why I'm saying, like, here we have a lot of girls that are just like, I want more natural makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup compared to, like say LA, Las Vegas, over in it. They always do their makeup, and that's completely fine. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. I'm different. I like to go very, very dramatic. I personally can't do natural on myself, but I can do it for somebody else that wants it. But I'm going to make sure that their photos are going to look good. So I definitely do a good consult with them. So if they're wanting natural makeup, I'm going to give them a more enhanced version, but I'm still going to make them feel comfortable, because there are some girls that are just like, I don't want to look like a completely different person. I want to look like me.
Be natural, more natural.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've actually heard this has happened before. They went to do a trial with some girl. They asked for natural, and the makeup artist version of natural is probably going to be different from the actual person getting the makeup. They might have two different ideas. Maybe they didn't communicate enough. That's a big trouble too.
So it's pretty much even the initial contact with them. They're gonna be like, okay, she doesn't know what she's talking about, because you're asking her questions as well. It's not just like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah. Because sometimes the stylist can do whatever they like, not like what the client wants.
And I love being able to do what I want.
Of course, but
I really, really do. But is that the reality? No. I can only do so much as to what my bride personally wants. It's all about them. It's giving the customer what they want, giving the client what they want. And that should be your priority number one when you're running a business.
Definitely.
That isn't that kind of just an unwritten rule?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like the difference between doing it yourself from what you said, what I picked up was you have the expertise and you handle the business. Somebody doing it themselves, they may have a little bit of the expertise, but they might not have the business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And plus they might not have the proper sanitations either.
All that.
That's what scares me. That's what scares me every single time, because we do live in that world where, everybody's, hand sanitations and everything like that. But it's like, okay, what is she using on you? Is it fresh makeup? Is it your makeup? Is it her makeup?
Where'd she get her makeup? Instead of buying brand new makeup, because you buy new everything every time, right?
I don't buy new things every time, because I can sanitize my stuff.
Okay.
Very, very, I can sanitize everything very, very thoroughly and be able to utilize that. Holy crap! If I was buying, oh my god!
I figured it was like a little
pricey. Everybody gets their own kit.
Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of makeup. I think my husband would kill me.
That'd be a lot of write-offs right there.
That's a lot of write-offs.
So with that being said, like you said, you've talked a lot about like makeup artists in New York and in LA and things like that. What do you think is next for you? Do you see yourself ever transitioning into like high fashion or magazine, or have you done anything like that already?
That would be a wonderful, wonderful goal. I would love to achieve that one day. And maybe I'm one of those girls who I'm very hard on myself. That's just how my brain is. You always want to do perfection, but we all know that perfection cannot be achieved in this industry. Me personally, I just am always one where I'm just like, even on myself, even my makeup tonight, I literally am like the hardest critic on myself because I'm like in the mirror, in maybe the video, maybe to you guys, like, okay, your makeup looks great. I can definitely tell you're a makeup artist. To me, let's just say
you're hard on yourself.
It literally was just like, I see one thing that I don't like and it felt like I threw it off. You know what I mean? So I'm even the hardest critic on myself. So I'm like, I would love to strive to that level, but I'm like, I feel like I'm always going to keep thinking that I'm like not there when everyone keeps saying, yes, you are there.
Hey, that's a great trait to have, though, because you never are settled with where you're at. That's what's going to keep you going.
I'm never satisfied with where I'm at. I want to always keep doing better.
Absolutely.
So, would you ever open up any other businesses, any type of businesses, or just want to just do this only and scale this to wherever you can?
My goal down the road is to hopefully one day open up my own salon. To be honest with you, I would personally love to maybe be somewhere sunnier.
Yeah. Same.
Maybe one day.
Same.
California. Yeah. Me, I've always dreamed of going somewhere else. I always told my parents, I was like, I will always be an Oregonian. I will always be an Oregonian, like deep down. Right. But I just feel in my heart, like I feel like I'm going to be living somewhere else. I don't know where, but my goal is to open my own salon. I want to open up basically a bridal suite dedicated specifically to like everything bridal. I want to have a girl in there for, doing like facials and like the Botox, the fillers, like those kinds of things, but doing the aesthetics that help ladies. Say for instance, like a girl is struggling with acne and she wants to get her skin better before her wedding day. She can come to us. We're going to specialize in making sure that
that's smart.
Her skin is going to be the best that it possibly can be before her big day. And knowing that she's going to be with us, it's just like we know exactly what's going to be going on with her. She's our client. She's our bride. And then, obviously have some hair stations, more studios in the back. Have a bigger salon, but still have it be a salon with independent contractors.
Is there something like that around here at all, or no? Something that focuses what you just said, like bridal.
You know what? To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure.
Probably not.
As bad and as selfish as this sounds, I feel like I've been focusing on my own business because I don't mean to sound like bad or like not thinking about others or anything like that. I just, when you are on a grind, when you're striving for more, you almost kind of become slightly blindsided to
everything around you.
Kinda. Yeah. But that's why I love what I do. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this now for, coming up almost on 10 years, I've had my failures. Do you know how many times I've actually failed with my business?
Everybody has to fail.
I had 3 challenges. One was that one salon. 2018, I got hit by a car. What? I couldn't walk.
Damn.
I couldn't walk.
I didn't see that coming.
I know. I couldn't walk.
Neither did you.
Neither did I.
Oh my God,
that was great, dude.
That's a good one.
I ain't even mad. That was perfect.
God.
Hell yes.
Oh my God.
I can't even be mad because that was actually priceless.
Good. Yeah,
that was great.
Good.
Please keep that in this.
We will.
No, I got hit by a car November 2018. That was when I had moved to the other one. That's when everything was starting to go up. I was on a humongous climb. I was doing so good. I was hitting my goals. And I get hit by this GMC Sierra crew cab truck. Oh God. And I was at a dead stop and he hit me so hard from behind that I got a very severe concussion. Yeah. And we didn't find out until 7 months down the road because I couldn't walk still, that I actually had a torn labrum in my right hip. Awesome. So as soon as I stepped out of that car, it was I put my foot down. It was like a shockwave went right up and I was like, I think something's wrong. They did x-rays. They couldn't find anything. They did an MRI. Couldn't find anything until 7 months down the road. They do that fluoroscopy thing where they inject the dye into your...
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'm not going to lie. Getting 2 needles shoved down there sucked.
Had
to. That's where we found out that there was a humongous tear. And I had been limping on it and walking on crutches on it. And it was tearing more. And so... by the time we finally got to an orthopedic surgeon, or be able to actually see one, it would have been 3 months down the road. Right. Whereas we changed our insurance, went to somebody else. They got me in within 2 days. They saw the MRI, and they scheduled me for surgery within 2 weeks.
That's how you handle it.
That's how I handled it. But that whole time was wild. I was in so much pain. I couldn't stand to do my job. Oh. And I mean, like, doing hair, that's all you do. You stand.
Move around.
Even on a distress mat, I couldn't stand and put weight on this for even 10 minutes. I couldn't do my job. And so it was wild. Like I just kept plateauing. Mm-hmm. So that's why I got into lashes. And I could sit.
I see what
it wasn't saying. The most comfortable, but I could make money that way. I wasn't going to give up.
Yeah, that's a hustler right there. I was not. I can't do this. I'm definitely going to do this.
I can't walk. I'm going to do something else to be able to make myself some money.
Absolutely.
I still had the bridal, but I mean, I needed a lot of help from my team. My team stepped up that year. My team stepped up that year. But then what happened after that? COVID.
Oh, Rona,
of course.
I was able to get my surgery in February. And get it? Yeah. And then March was when we all shut down.
Great time.
I literally was just like, for the love of God, like I'm in another salon now. I'm doing really, really well. And all of a sudden now this happens. I have my surgery. Okay. I'm going to come back after, 3 weeks, get back into it. No, shut down because of COVID. So that was the third time I had to stop.
Mm-hmm. So why'd you do that to figure that out?
Pray. Pray. Because I was an independent contractor. Mm. I wasn't technically unemployment. Remember, we had that struggle. Yeah. And so we had to do that PUA, which for me did not come for 20 weeks. 20 weeks. Yeah. I got to the point where I'm like, okay, so Jared, I'm either going to risk losing my license or we're going to be homeless.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to stop. I can't do this. I have to do something. I was finally working again. I was maybe running a slight speakeasy.
Plenty of homies that were barbers that did that stuff in their home.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
You have to. I mean, you got to make money. Yeah.
You got to keep the train rolling.
You do. And that's where I literally was just like, well, everybody else is enjoying COVID.
Enjoying it.
I mean, for lack of a better word, during that time, everybody's like, oh, staycation for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks turned into like 4 long months. Yeah. We weren't stopping. Jared and I were still working. We were still busting hump. We had so many postponements. Yeah. I think I was going to still do any that were going to do, say, elopements, because that's basically what anybody could do. Yeah. It was less than 10 people.
Very small.
Very small. So I was like, if girls are doing elopements, I'm going to do it. I have to. Yeah. I have to. And I was not going to let my brides down ever. So I was going to do whatever I need to do. And come to find out, because of my freelance authorization that I can do, because I have that license, I can travel. I can do my freaking job. So I had a record 5 weddings in 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
it's not too bad, I guess.
Oh. Compared to how many you usually have.
Yeah, compared to
like the 60, 70 weddings that we had last year. Yeah, that was a horrific year, you guys.
Wow, that's
quite the story. So from there, what happened? You guys just waited till all that blew over for everything to kind of pick back up, or was that just kind of after those 5 weddings, you're just like, we're just gonna figure it out, I guess?
I mean, what really can you do? No one expected that.
That's facts.
Jared didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. I was full on expecting to be back at work after those 2 weeks. And then we're like, okay, well, COVID is clearly very serious. Like, this is actually very worrisome. Yeah. So we're just like, okay, what can we do? All we can do is answer our brides. Mm-hmm. We all know, because we were thinking when this first started, like, oh, okay, like, just wait until, like, we get word that it might be, continued further. Well, basically we were just like, oh, just wait. But it never happened. It never came. So we were just like, okay, well, I think everyone's going to be moving their weddings to next year. Everyone's going to be moving their weddings next year. We're coming to this realization. If we do have people that are going to have their weddings this year, I will do it. We both are going to do it. You just had to continue to hustle. Right. You don't stop. You really don't stop. When you are your own business,
you can't.
You think that, no, yeah, exactly. When you're your own business and you're your own boss, you don't stop. And that's what people realize. It's like, even my husband and I, when we have a day off, and I put that very lightly, we are still answering emails. We're still working. So it's like, our hustle really honestly does not stop.
Yeah, it doesn't
Absolutely.
Stop. Yeah, we just had to keep talking to people. We had to still do our emails, still do all those communications, move all those postponements over into the next year. That way, after that, things started kind of lightening up in 2021. They were still restrictions, but we still were able to do our jobs.
That's great.
2022 was our best year yet. So it literally was like, we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Party season is back. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Not to mention that summer is coming up not too far out from now. You know
I
what
know.
I mean? So with the summer coming up right now, like that means more weddings are coming, obviously. What does it look like for you? What does this summer look like coming up?
Oh, we're traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually traveling. Like we're traveling up to Seattle now. There's a lot more demand, I think, up actually in Seattle. Yeah, there is. So we're traveling up to Seattle. I actually have a wedding. I'm actually really looking forward to this one because it's at a ski resort. It's at Crystal Mountain Ski Resort.
That sounds fun.
But the thing is, it's like 3 hours away. Remember, we start early, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean,
be on the road
the day before. Then show up pretty before.
So I have a rule, just because I've had people. This has happened to people in my past. I will not allow myself or my girls to drive at very unsafe hours.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, if they can drive through the snow, awesome. I know I can. So that's why I go to Hood all the time for weddings in the wintertime, because I can drive in the snow. My daddy taught me well, and he taught me young. But for that particular one, when we're having to actually travel and do that far of a distance, anything over 2 hours, respectfully, like, we do want to make sure that we get in an adequate amount of sleep, even our beauty sleep and our restful sleep, so then we have the energy to be able to do what we need to do for you tomorrow.
Can you show up the day before, though?
That's what I usually do. Is I have I talk with the brides and I tell them that anything over 2 hours, there is definitely like lodging that will be needed to be involved, because we do want the girls to be driving at a safe hour, which is going to be obviously the day previously. And for her to be able to sleep, have a place to lay her head restfully, and be able to wake up and do what she does well. Yeah, you don't want her driving at like 2, 3 in the morning to show up and start at 7.
Yeah, plus the bride wants to be on point.
Exactly.
Yeah, she don't want a sleepy makeup artist dozing off.
I am definitely not one to do.
Trying to get those wings right.
You know what? I don't know how girls do it in their cars.
Oh, on the way and stuff?
Yeah, hell no. I'm sorry. I'm too much of a perfectionist to do that in the car. Yeah. No, this took 2 hours to do for you guys. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it looks good.
I can't do that in the car. So God bless the girls that can. I cannot. No, but I mean, we're traveling all over the place. I actually will say that we do travel to the beach a lot. That's one of my favorite ones to do. Who doesn't love going to the beach for a summer wedding? But yeah, lots of travel. We are definitely well on track to hit our goal for over 75 weddings this year. We have added 2 more ladies onto my team who. One is another hair and makeup artist, so she's versatile. And we also have another lady who is another makeup artist. So we're going to be able to do 20 people weddings if we really wanted to.
And your 75 wedding, that doesn't include what you do at salon as well. Yeah, so that's that's
it's full.
Hey, I got goals. I'm ready to hit another 6-figure again.
Yeah, there you go. So before we get off here, what advice would you give somebody that wants to do what you're doing? Besides not giving up, and not
definitely never give up, because if I had given up, I would not have been here. And I mean, my business, basically, in my mind, I felt like my business had failed 3 times, and I didn't stop. So don't ever give up. If you have a goal that you want to achieve, you can do it. You just have to get up and do your research and do what you need to do what you want to do. Me, it was Jared. Jared pushed me to do this. Actually, I didn't tell you guys. I actually went to school for criminal justice.
Oh,
no way.
Yeah, I have my degree in criminal justice from Western Oregon University, and so I actually was trying to get into forensics So get into forensics, do the cop thing, do homicide.
Stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know what to call if we need help.
My husband literally gets scared sometimes because I watch way too much Oxygen Network.
Oh my God, the criminal stuff.
Of course.
He actually deleted that channel one time when we had cable, and he's like, I can't. Like, I'm getting terrified. Yeah. He took that off the channel.
Delete the ID.
He did. He took Oxygen Network off, so I couldn't watch any more Snapped or any of those
You're like, I got my
murder
phone
documentaries. I got my phone.
That's all my girl watches, right?
Snapped
ID, friggin' Oxygen, all that.
Yeah, well,
murder mysteries.
I like murder mystery stuff. That's for sure.
Bad news. It's on Peacock.
Oh, it is.
It's on Peacock, so just putting it out there for all the girls who need a murder documentary. It's on Peacock, and there's like 21 seasons, so you're great. No, never ever stop. If Jared had not pushed me either, you need to have that significant other, that friend, that family member, that's someone that does believe in you. It only takes one person.
Yeah.
It really only takes one person. Jared said, after the last time I tried to become, the last one was a corrections officer position with Clackamas County Jail. Mm-hmm. And after they told me no, that was the last time. It was 5 years that I tried. And I was like, maybe this just is not in the stars. And it took me a year to figure it out. Jared was the one, he's just like, you do so well at this. Why don't you do this? You can make so much money, and you could do even bridal. Your parents are in the wedding industry. That would be something fun. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, maybe I could. I mean, I can do hair. I love doing it. I did dance when I was younger. I know how to do stage makeup anyways. So that kind of just went hand in hand.
Perfect sense already.
It literally
all the stars were aligning.
It did. Yeah. In a very, very weird way.
It was meant to be, pretty much.
It was. And
a different constellation.
But make sure you get your education. Make sure you do your research. If you want to become an MUA, go to school. Get the license.
Do it right.
Yeah, do it right. Make sure, because I can tell you this much. If a girl asks me, are you properly licensed? I can happily hand them over my license. If I didn't, that's kind of an embarrassing situation.
Might be a red flag for some people, huh?
That can be. What if that person who is not licensed does not know how to sanitize those products properly? What if there's a potential of cross-contamination with those liquid products, those mascara wands?
Big issue.
Exactly. I personally would want to go with someone who has the education. And I mean, the education, even in beauty school, it's not just hair. You're going down into the anatomy of hair. It's not just you're doing makeup. You're going down into the anatomy of your skin, your first layer of defense. Yeah. You learn about the muscles, the nerves, everything.
That's wild.
Like me and Johnny, we talk to business owners all the time where their fields might not necessarily require going to school.
Right.
But when it comes to something like this, it sounds like it's definitely a lot deeper than just getting up and just going hard, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It seems like you really want to get to know things on a deeper level when it comes to the health of your clients.
I think of anything that does kind of correlate with health. And I mean, beauty is health. Like I said, we have to ensure that we're laying down product that's not going to give you, any kind of reaction. Right. I personally would rather go with someone who has that extended education and that background amid someone who may not. You should be asking those questions. If I'm a bride, I want to ask as many questions to this makeup artist, even just about her history. I would love someone to ask me just a little bit about my history. I give a little tiny bit of it, but there's a lot more to just, doing just hair and curling hair and just laying down a little blush on someone's face. It's way more.
Yeah. That's why the cheaper people are cheap for a reason. But obviously, you got to start out somewhere.
Cheaper isn't always better, but when you do have to start somewhere, you have to do what you got to do. Yeah. You got to get clients in the door some way, somehow.
At least educate them too while you talk to them. So, know about your skin, know about all that stuff.
Yeah, man, know your stuff. Know your stuff and care about your clients, man. It's simple.
I can't tell you how many times I've actually heard brides say, I never thought about that.
We never thought. I mean, I would never.
The sanitation ones is a big one.
Absolutely. Well, that already positions you as an expert because you're telling people, I didn't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's something big as big as that.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, that fear. I don't. Have you guys ever watched the TV show Friends?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Duh.
Cult classic right there.
Cult classic. So I'm literally that episode of when Monica tries to take Rachel to the eye doctor.
Oh my gosh.
I do not put things in my eye, and I've never had pink eye. I've never had an eye infection. Like, I try to keep my eye health very, very well because I have to utilize my eyes for what I do. Because those little tiny details, even in doing lash extensions, we are literally separating lashes with these tiny hairs. Tweezers
right next to your eye.
Literally, we are splitting
the
hairs.
Definition of splitting
hairs.
That
is literally splitting hairs. But I'm also taking time to isolate the lash thoroughly so we don't have any lashes that are going to stick or cause irritation. But even then, with eye health, you hope that the lash girl is sanitizing those tools before she uses them on your face. You hope to God she's washing her hands or, using it all encompasses,
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for coming to the show.
Thank
you know what I mean?
So
Go ahead and
much.
let the people know like where they can find you guys. Obviously, Style Me PDX. But, tell them about the social medias and the websites and how to reach you guys.
Yeah, so you can find all of my girls and myself at Style Me PDX _ for Instagram. You can also find us on Style Me PDX _ on TikTok. We're going to start growing our TikTok a little bit more. Yeah. I know you lectured me just a little time. I know.
Got to.
And this is someone who's like, I don't like being in front of video.
And also your website too.
Yep. Yes, my website is www.stylemepdx.com, and you're able to send a bridal submission form through there, or if you just want to inquire about any service that we do offer for lashes, waxing, and hair, send a submission.
All right. Well, appreciate it, having us come over here to your house. And everybody watching, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
PDX Biz Talk, the PDX Business Podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.